still. I know this is going to be a big one, Jen. Like, people were pumped to hear who you are, what you've got going on, and like how we can get a piece of the action. So friends, this is Jen Oliva. She is a media expert, and I'm going to let her give a better introduction. But first, let me just say thank you for joining us. We would love to say hello. So if you're watching live, comment below, let us know where you're watching from. If you have any questions along our conversation, feel free to put them in the chat. And if you're listening via the Own Your Awesome podcast, because this is a dual action situation here for me, feel free to connect with Jen on Insta or LinkedIn and join in the conversation during the replay. So thank you so much for joining us. Jen, why don't you tell us a little bit about you and who you are and how you roll?
I would love to. Thanks for having me, Miranda. I'm really excited for this. Miranda and I met at an event with female founders, and she was such a badass that I later ended up quoting her when I was on stage at the event and sort of doing some throwbacks to her because what she said was such gold, and we kind of hit it off from there. So a little bit about me. I spent my career in network news. I was a network news producer for more than 25 years. And about 3 years ago, I decided to start my own PR firm. I realized that after being on the other side of it for so long, I knew exactly what producers, editors, and writers needed and wanted for their copy, and that I could help clients to get the exposure they were looking for. And I could help my friends in the media by giving them great guests with great stories, which would impact and help their audiences, which would like share the information. So it was like a win-win, and it has taken off. It's been an amazing, wild ride. And I am just like loving every second of it.
Oh, I love it. And I'm loving it because I've got a massive goal to be seen this year, and Jen's going to help me get there. So Jen, I'm just going to dive right in. Of course, like we heard your background. You clearly have lots of experience and expertise getting people on camera, right? And getting people attention. Who do you work with today? Like who are the people you're like, yep, they come running to me. This is who I work with. Is there a specific group of people? Tell us exactly who you work with. And then of course, I want to hear how you get them media coverage.
Happy to. So first, we don't just work in one vertical here. And I made that decision early on. A lot of PR firms kind of focus either on healthcare or the financial industry. But to me, coming from news and having different stories, seeing how different stories would break and hit the news every day, and there were so many things going on in the world, like why would you want to limit yourself to just one story angle or one type of expert? I wanted to, number one, keep learning. And I do that with my clients. Every new client we take on, we do a deep dive and we really like get to know them and their business and what makes them tick in order to sort of, the better we know them, the better we can rep them, right? So while we have a variety of clients, there are some things they have in common. They all have to be passionate about what they do, right? They have to have that drive. And they also have to have that expertise. So whatever it is that they are doing, saying, whether they are an author and have a new book coming out, or they are a fitness guru and can help people get healthier, or a doctor, they need to be the expert in their field. They need to have the gravitas to back it up, right? Because I can't place them unless they actually know what they're talking about. And I won't place them unless they actually know what they're talking about, right? So those are the two things. And right now our clients range from people in the fitness world to people in the health and wellness world, doctors, authors, AI. It really spans sort of all different areas. And I really like that. That means that like if there is a new FDA drug approval on something and that's what they're talking about, I have the experts who can talk about it and I can give them to my friends in the media. And they're not going to cannibalize each other, if there's any sort of overlap. And if there is a new wellness trend that people are talking about, I have the wellness people to talk about it. So it enables me to serve our clients better. It enables me to help my friends in the media and get them the experts that they're looking for. So
I love that. I'm not a huge fan of niching either, or like specializing in one type of business. I do the same thing for LinkedIn. Like everybody needs to be on LinkedIn, just like everybody needs to be seen, so especially when they're the experts. So I totally get that. And I feel you, sister. Tell me, so I said, get you on camera, but it's more than just camera, right? So tell me, correct me in that, because obviously media is more than just television. So give me a little insights of like where you place people, or what is the media essentially that you work with?
Yeah. So we place people on everywhere from TV, OTT, streaming to print, digital, podcasts, even radio now is kind of having a comeback. Yeah, I know, it's crazy. So the idea is that you find the right outlet for the right clients. And that is like a little secret and a little sort of behind that. It's just as important where you're placing them as what you're placing them on, the subject.
So I just put in the comments, media is more than TV, apparently. So I know we've got a few people watching. So obviously, duh. But I'm super curious for those of you who are watching us live, is getting in media a part of your business plan? And Jen, can you tell us how important and why that answer should be yes?
Oh my God. It's incredibly important. It is incredibly important. So what we do is called earned media, right? Okay. It's getting you in sort of the old school mainstream media, as opposed to owned media, which is the media you own, which is like your YouTube channel or your Instagram, right? Or your TikTok account. There are many differences, but the biggest sort of difference is that when we are getting you in earned media, we're getting you earned media. It is because what you have to say and what you are sharing with the viewers, the listeners, the readers is editorially interesting, editorially important, right? And so when we get you on that, it's a third-party endorsement from an outside, well-respected, well-known, whether it's digital magazine, TV, print, whatever it is, it's them saying, you are all these things that you say about yourself. You can say anything you want on your social media, right? You can be like, I'm the king of the world, whatever. More power to you. Like I'm all for, everybody being their biggest champion. Right. But when the mainstream media holds you up as the expert in something, quotes you as the expert in something, that is setting up your media resume. That is saying to all of their viewers, listeners, and readers, this is the go-to person. This is the actual expert. And we've vetted them. We've looked into them. We know. We are recommending them. And that is something that advertising dollars cannot buy.
Yeah.
So people ask me, they're like, oh, we only have a certain budget. We spend all our money on Facebook ads, or we put all our money into, whatever ads they happen to be. But what I say is that's you talking about how great you are and you sort of pouring your money into that. A much more organic approach and a way to make more of an impact. And if you're talking about exposure and your reputation and getting yourself out there as the expert that you are and sharing what you have to share with the world, there is no one better than a publicist to help you do that.
Oh, that's so true. And I bet you this is why you were like, yep, she's got a point. Because I started my keynote or whatever that day with testimonials, it's somebody else sharing how awesome you are. I can tell you how great I am, but there's no better social proof, of course, like pictures of me on stage, but when there is a testimonial of me speaking on their stage and they did this, for, for my audience and they're talking about it, same with media, like it triples the results. It triples the impact because like that's great. Miranda's confident and she's talking about how awesome she is on stage. But if Jen says, Jen's stage is like, she was amazing. My community loved her. It is such a different impact. And so on a mainstream stage like media, to have, Good Morning America or Success Magazine or somebody saying, this is what Miranda VonFricken said, it's just such a bigger impact. And I can totally see that. And you were the one to not only connect us to those opportunities, but you're the one to really educate us on the difference, owned media versus earned media. We kind of understand that, but it didn't really click until you just said it.
Oh, I'm so glad. I mean, one of the things too, I look at, people are always asking about when they're trying to decide, what avenue they should take in promoting their businesses or their book or whatever it happens to be, or themselves as an expert, is they talk about, ROI. How do you get what is the ROI for this? And with PR, it's very different than sales. And so it's harder to measure. There's a harder sort of direct line, but what you can measure is eyes on something, right? So I talk to people all the time who talk on stage and get invited to go to events, right? And talk to talk a financial planner, to go to talk to, a group of maybe 200 people on stage. And that's amazing. And that gets them there. But with one hit from us, hit, it's like TV jargon, that we set up for them with like tier 1 media, that's getting them in front of a minimum of 1 million unique views.
What?
Yeah. So it is